So good morning, everyone, and welcome to tourismtechnology.com's webinar, More Than a Name, an Introduction to Branding. My name is Jennifer Brown, and I'm with Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador. We are very pleased that you could join us today, and I would like to acknowledge participation from our partners in this project, the provinces of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador, and the tourism industry associations of each province, including the Tourism Industry Association of New Brunswick, the Tourism Industry Association of Prince Edward Island, and Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador. And of course, Tourism Atlantic, ACOA. The aim of tourismtechnology.com is to empower tourism operators in Atlantic Canada to improve their competitiveness by effectively using online technology. TourismTechnology.com provides operators with the skills, knowledge, and expertise to take advantage of current online tools and resources. TourismTechnology.com offers one-on-one mentoring, workshops, and tutorials, all ranging from basic to advanced levels of learning. If you're following along online today, please feel free to tweet or post using the hashtag TourismTech. Also, we will be doing a question and answer at the end of the webinar, but please feel free to type any questions in the chat along the way. We're very happy to have Jason Ferris from the Tourism Industry Association of New Brunswick and Allison Clark from the Tourism Industry Association of Prince Edward Island here with us today. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Jason to get started.
Well, everyone, welcome to our webinar on an introduction to online branding strategy. Thank you very much for coming today. The tourism market is competitive. I probably don't need to tell you that. You already know. Travelers are turning to the internet in record numbers to explore and finalize travel decisions. As an operator, it's crucial that you're informed and prepared to take advantage of these opportunities as they come. Many tourism operators find that the greatest struggle in using social media is not setting up their accounts, but maintaining them on an ongoing basis. Many operators pretty much understand that social media can connect them to their current audience, and it will help them reach new ones. Yet many operators still struggle to understand the value of social media that it can bring online, the ability to captivate an audience. The challenges. Not knowing what to say is likely a contributing factor to the tremendous drop-off rates seen on sites like Facebook and Twitter these days. When operators don't understand their brand and what makes for good online content, they often quit. Another challenge tourism operators face, and many don't even recognize it yet, is the belief that because they understand social media on a personal level and using it on their own personal use, they have what it takes to make it work for a business. The tools and technology are similar, but the content, approach, tone, and personality must reflect that of the business, not the individual. If this isn't understood and delivered with accuracy, brand confusion can occur. And ultimately, it affects the business. Leaving your growth and brand image on social media to chance is too risky. You need to manage your online presence even if you don't want to directly promote your brand, product, or service. The goal of branding is to establish a significant and distinct presence in the market that attracts and retains loyal customers. But what is branding exactly? The Business Dictionary defines branding as the process of creating a unique name and image for a product in the minds of consumers, mainly through advertising campaigns with a consistent theme. Your brand is the reputation your business holds in the market. Branding is a strategy, and brand is what has meaning to the consumer. Basically, your brand comes from who you are, who you want to be, and who people perceive you to be. Are you the innovative maverick or the experienced, reliable rock? Is your product the high-price, high-quality option or the low-price, high-value option? You can't be both, and you can't be all things to all people, as much as we all would like to try. Who you are should be based, at least in part, on who your target customers want and need you to be. When most people think of branding, their mind automatically jumps to a logo. And they're right, in part. The foundation of your brand is your logo. Your website, packaging, promotional materials, all of these should integrate your logo. and this communicates your brand. But how do you come up with a good logo that represents your brand? Well, first, you need to define what your brand is. What are your values? What do you want to be known for? What are you building? What are your product or service features and benefits? What do your customers and prospects already think of your company? And maybe what qualities do you want them to associate with your company? Writing out your answers to these basic questions can help form a foundation for defining your brand. And once you've established your brand, you need to communicate it, not just to your customers. Be sure that every employee is aware of your brand attributes. Keep in mind, though, a brand is ultimately decided on by the outside people who come in contact with your business. Visitors, buyers, tire kickers, passers-by, the people who deliver your mail. So do your research. Learn the needs, habits, and desires of your current and prospective customers. And don't rely on what you think they think. Know what they think. Allison's going to touch more on that in a few minutes. Perceptions are formed by the actions of your business, the appearance of your property and staff, the rates and services available, your personality being portrayed by your staff, how you answer phones, email signatures. These are just a few of the factors that impact people's perceptions. Online, a business's response to a complaint or a compliment, the quality of your website, the type of content that's posted, and the tone in which it's shared all contribute to the brand perception. So why is this all important? Well, consider if your business is working hard to position itself as a luxury brand for customers willing to pay a premium price, but using big discounts, contests, and giveaways online. There may be a disconnect in the brand story. If you look at this example on the screen, personally, I don't see Rolex as being cheap. It's not a discount product. Yet the imagery here portrays this. A disconnected brand story creates confusion within the market, ultimately eroding trust and negatively impacting the market of the operation. And just a side note, please be aware, Rolex is not advertising like this to the best of my knowledge. I put this illustration together as an example only. Now, branding improves recognition. Okay, this is a list of reasons why you should put your time into this. Okay, it improves the recognition. One major component of your brand is, of course, as I already said, your logo. As the face of your company, logo design is critical because that simple graphic will be, or at least should be, on every piece of correspondence and advertising. A professional logo design is simple enough to be memorable, but powerful enough to give the desired impression of your company. Next we have branding creates trust. A professional appearance builds credibility and trust. People are more likely to purchase from a business that appears polished and legitimate. Emotional reactions are hardwired into our brains, and those reactions are very real influencers. Branding supports advertising. Advertising is another component of your brand. What mediums you use and the demographics targeted both build a brand. If your advertising focus is too narrow, the company risks being pigeonholed and losing their ability to expand into new markets. If you go too broad, you may fail to create a definable impression of the company in the minds of would-be customers. Branding also builds financial value. Companies that publicly trade on the stock market are valued at many times the actual hard assets of the company. A lot of this value is due to branding. A strong brand usually guarantees future business. The greater a company's devotion to build its brand value, the better the financial return from its efforts. Branding also inspires employees. Many employees need more than just work. They need something to work toward. When employees understand your mission and reason for being, they're more likely to feel that same pride and work in the same direction to achieve the goals you have set. Having a strong brand is like turning the company logo into a flag. The rest of the company can rally around. And branding generates new customers. Branding enables your company to get referral business. Would it be possible for you to tell a friend about the new shoes you love if you couldn't remember the brand? As the most profitable advertising source, word-of-mouth referrals are only possible in a situation where your company has delivered a memorable experience with your customer. The most profitable companies, small and large, have a single thing in common. They've established themselves as a leader in their particular industry by building a strong brand. So now, this defining your brand is a two-step process. First off, you need to define how you want your brand to be perceived in the market. What position do you want to hold? When people talk about your brand to their friends, how do you want them to describe you? Who should they send your way, or what demographic are you targeting? For example, an accommodations operator might describe one of the following: value for money, luxury experience, family-focused, modern amenities for the business traveler, but you wouldn't describe multiple of those. The next step is discovering how your brand is actually perceived in the market. Reach out directly to those who make referrals. These people include people in the service industry, other business leaders in the community, past clients. Ask them directly about their experience with you and how they would describe you to others. Listen specifically for any gaps between the ideal brand perception and actual perceptions. The bridge between perception and reality is at the foundation of strategic marketing. For example, if you want people to see your hotel as luxury with charming hospitality, but you find out people see your business as elite and expensive, you can build content and execute other marketing tactics to counter this. Now, there are going to be negative perceptions out there, and we need to combat those. You can first challenge negative perceptions as soon as they arise. Defend your brand and manage its reputation, especially in the face of negative feedback on service and quality. If you have a service-related tourism business, this is where you should focus a majority of your efforts. Actively go after customer feedback through questionnaires, feedback forms, mystery shopping, on your social media channels. If you embrace negative feedback and encourage comments, then you can do something about them. Don't bury your head in the sand and expect them to go away, as tempting as that might be. Take a look at TripAdvisor and see what people are saying about hotels, and you'll see just how important it is to be living and breathing your customers' experiences. Next, focus on the customer and listen to their issues. Research and customer feedback here are key. Never get complacent. If you fail to live up to your brand promise every day, then people will vote with their feet and their pockets. Communicate your message and own your brand perception. You could share guest stories, post photos and videos on social media and on the website about your company culture to show a more accurate representation of the brand. You communicate or you lose your identity. There's no excuse for ignoring the customer base and then expecting them to remember you because you've been around a long time. Now, you might also offer additional training to your staff to ensure that they understand how to live your brand effectively. And finally, bring in staff and stakeholders to brainstorm ideas about how to bridge the gap. Now, at this point, that about wraps up my portion. I'm going to turn this over to my colleague Allison Clark of Taipei to continue today's topic.
My name is Allison Clark, and I'm with the Tourism Industry Association of PEI. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about profiling your audience and understanding who your correct customers are. It is critical for you, the operators, to understand that not every guest is your right guest. The right guest values the unique experience that the operator offers and is content to pay the rate requested because of this. So if an operator is marketing their brand inaccurately to the wrong audience, just to generate any business as opposed to the right business, the result is likely to be unhappy guests who tell others that the experience was not what they expected or what they wanted to pay for. So when you're looking for that right guest, there's a few important facts to consider. So we're going to get into that. So the first fact is demographics. Demographics are age, gender, and geographical location.
And they're helpful when comparing advertising channels or identifying social media platforms best suited for the operator. Demographics also help with understanding where to spend your marketing dollars. So for example, finding your correct audience and where they're spending their time on social media is crucial for you to learn where and how to target them on that. We then have values. And values, which really means profiling the guests by their values, enables the operator to present uniquely tailored experiences to wow them. This understanding also helps the operator understand how to market their offerings using language and personality that speaks directly to your correct audience. The third fact that we have is buying behaviors. Buying behaviors is understanding the ideal guest's path to purchase and will help the operator understand each marketing channel that will need to be considered in order to stand out and be seen by the potential guest. So moving on from your target audiences, we're going to look at these types of travel audiences, which are actually really interesting. So it is important that operators not assume to know what is important to their guests without a thorough consideration. Assuming to know what drives a guest to book and be happy with an experience can lead to ineffective marketing and a missed opportunity. So for instance, if an operator assumes that all travelers make price a top priority, they may miss out on marketing their product as a higher quality and ultimately receiving a higher price. Assuming the opposite to be true can lead to challenges. So the basics of having a positive travel experience require that the guests feel three key elements throughout their experience. The first is to be safe, the second is to be clean, and the third is to be well fed. Beyond these fundamental travel needs, there are four major groups purchasing travel, and each one has their own unique set of needs and desires while actually exploring the world. So the first one is budget. Budget travelers are determined to see the world, even if it requires them to work a bit harder to do it. The group is savvy, smart, and money conscious. They spend wisely, taking into consideration factors such as off-season rates, coupons, cycling, and other alternative forms of travel, shopping at grocery stores for food rather than eating out, etc. And the types of travelers usually included in this group are the young and single. They have large families with several small children, or young couples just getting started in life. And the types of purchases that the budget group makes would be discount packages, last-minute deals, off-season rates, points clubs, camping, hostels, private rooms, or renting houses. And then we have the value add audience. So while not solely focused on price, this group values getting the most for their money as well. Most save for their vacations and want to make the most of their money they have available. This group is often middle class and makes up a large portion of the travel market today. And this group usually includes families and young and middle-aged and older single couples. And the types of travel audiences that they usually purchase would be accommodations that include meals or parking, restaurants with special add-on items, and packages that save money and offer passes to tickets and other events. And the third group that we have here is luxury. Luxury travel has actually become a very large market with younger and more affluent travelers than ever before. Luxury travelers are looking for the very best in space, experience, and service. They prefer privacy, such as exclusive villas or apartments. They want to feel invisible when they are trying to hide, important when they are wanting attention, and always have the desire for their needs and to be attended to as quickly and quietly as possible. They want to feel that their travel experience has been unique, authentic, and maximizes the most use of their time. So in this group, it's usually politicians, celebrities, wealthy retirees, successful professionals, and entrepreneurs. And the types of purchases that the luxury group usually makes would be high-end accommodations, fine dining, spas, golf, global travel, extended stays, upgraded rooms, villas, privacy, high-level service, and discretion are always required. And then we have theme travel, which is actually becoming very popular as well these days. Theme travel is the art of basing travel time and location upon some sort of theme, so such as a yoga retreat, a foodie tour, or an art tour. Theme travel can be very unique, but shares the one common link of having a trip or partial sections of the trip based entirely on the theme of interest to the traveler. Those interested in the theme travel across many profiles. They could be young or more mature, single or with families, but they tend to be upper middle class with disposable income. Purchases that these groups would make would be packages that combine particular themes of interest with food and accommodations, VIP opportunities, meet and greets, or memorabilia. And so what I just went over was kind of like the four main groups of travelers, but there are others. We just wanted to kind of give you a feel for them. We encourage you to do other research and learn more about the different types of travelers because the more research you do, the more in tune you will be with your correct audience. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this little icon here on the screen or chart. So the Atlantic Canada Tourism Partnership, which is also known as ACTP, created an online readiness strategy and developed this mental model of a tourist in the travel planning process. So at each stage, there is an important communication initiative required to ensure the traveler receives the right content to entice them to learn more about a specific destination. The graphic that you're seeing on the screen right now, it illustrates how respondents describe a cycle of inspiration, research, narrowing of options, and booking, and the buying cycle for a traveler and tourism products. So the first stage that we have is inspiration. Travelers are inspired to see by a number of factors: must-see destinations, activities and interests, marketing initiatives, and travelers also rely heavily on friends and family and online connections as a trustworthy resource for inspiring travel. So if their friends and family have had a good experience on their travels, users will be more willing to begin their research of that specific destination or accommodation. And in the past, the internet was not typically the first stage of inspiration, but with the growing adoption of social media sites and channels on the travel tourism industry, the internet now plays a key role in the inspiration stage. So think of Pinterest to Instagram and all those beautiful pictures that they post. That is really inspiring people now to look at other travel options that are out there. Now we have the research stage. And inspiration prompts the traveler to learn more and follow the visions and ideas that pique their interest, which really moves into the research stage. So the internet plays a pivotal role in the trip research stage, along with advice from friends, travel books, media articles, and travel agents. Numerous tourism industry studies have shown that growth in users consulting, guides, newspapers, and online resources have really grown. And search engines as well play a key role in this stage in locating a proper starting point for research. So a tip here would just be have good SEO on your website. That's a whole other kettle of fish, but if you know what I'm talking about, really bump it up, and it'll really help with people that are in the research stage and finding your accommodations or your business. Tourism websites should look professional, again, not too corporate. They should showcase the charm and beauty of their offering to entice the traveler to research further. Shopping around for deals and finding detailed information about specific tourism operators are the jumping off point to the destination website. And when it's important to them, consumers are willing to spend a considerable amount of time searching for the best value for their money. And again, travelers also use social media to find more information on possible destinations. So again, having your social media channels up to date is always a good thing to do. The narrowing stage. So once the user feels they have done enough research, they will visit specific destination websites to narrow their search. Websites must be easy to navigate and provide information in a straightforward manner. Direct links to rates, specials, photos, activities, policies, contact info, and social media channels on the homepage are essential. And understanding the types of visitors that are using your site and their end goals and how they research and communicate online will help in the planning and displaying of your content. Provide travel planning tools to make the process of planning and booking a trip less cumbersome will add to their online experience. And having links to things to do in your area or things to go see will also help people kind of seal the deal in booking your accommodation or your business as well. And the final stage is called the booking stage or closing the sale. Many criteria must come together on a travel website to convince the user to select your operation. The majority of online leisure travelers will book at least some portion of their travel online. And previously, there were mixed opinions across all industries on the security of purchasing online. But currently, as you know, that fear has kind of been alleviated and has been minimized, and there is confidence in a higher volume of online transactions. So make sure that your customer feels safe when they're giving their credit card information over your website, and policies are well outlined. And by providing a good user experience, customers will be more likely to trust your organization and proceed with their online booking. And I just wanted to do a few follow-up tips for my section as well. So listen to social conversations, and what I mean by that is to just stay engaged in social media and your audience. Look at what their topics they're talking about, hashtags they're using, and who they're interacting with. It'll give you a good insight to what they're interested in and may help you with your advertising content. Look at other popular brands and products. See what their target audience is and what they're using, and how they position themselves, what messaging they're using. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just kind of see what they're up to and see if it can work for you in a different manner. And also look at your competitors. Your competitors may have already done some market research and put it into action. If they have the same target audience as you, observe and learn from the way they write and advertise to their potential customers, and it really could help you as well. And always allow some room to grow. You'll never have the perfect understanding of your target audience. Even at some point, if you did, the audience will grow, evolve, and change as soon as you figure them out. So allow some breathing room in your strategy, and really always understand your audience a little bit better as you go. I know it's hard to get them nailed down all the time, but the more you kind of look at them and follow them, you will get there. So that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over to Jennifer at H&L to finish us off.
Thanks, Allison. Hi, everyone. Jennifer here, and I will be guiding us through where to be online. Having defined your brand, the target audience, and now understanding the traveler's mindset, you have the foundation to make strategic decisions about being online. As we know, social media has changed the way we market and communicate. People are searching for their news, information, and inspiration from social media sites, rather than older and more traditional forms of media. Social media sites are easily accessed from all mobile devices, handheld smartphones, and tablets, and are an important part of many people's daily lives. For the purpose of this webinar, 8 popular social media platforms currently being used by tourism operators have been identified. It is important to note that there are countless other platforms that could be considered and that not all 8 identified are necessary. Depending on the establishment, the brand, and the capacity, many operators will need to choose 1 or 2 to begin. For others more comfortable with social media, expanding to an additional 1 or 2 to complement what is already being used might be the next step. So the 8 social media platforms being explored include Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, Flickr, and Snapchat. So a few points about Facebook. There are more than 1 billion active users. In terms of social media, Facebook would be king. How to start? First things first, create a Facebook page for your business if you have not already done so. 52% of users say that their friends' photos inspired their travel plans. 80 to 85% of users who like a brand on Facebook are past or present customers. By 2018, 35% of online travel bookings will be made via mobile. And a tip, an example, a hotel Facebook page is a second website with the option for guests to contact hotel staff to make a reservation. So if you have an accommodation and you don't have a booking reservation in place on your website, having contact information on your Facebook page is a great way to counteract that. So Kitty Vitty Brewery, a former fish plant turned brewery nestled in historic Kitty Vitty Village, is a good example of a Facebook page because of its striking photography and effectiveness in showcasing its personality through storytelling. With almost 6,000 likes, 161 reviews, with an overall rating of 4.7 out of 5 stars, and engagement on most posts, this business has an understanding of how to connect to its audience using this platform. So a few points on Instagram. There are 300 million active users. So if Facebook is king, Instagram is queen. And it's a social media site that's all about pictures and 15-second videos. And many brands are participating on Instagram through the use of hashtags and posting pictures consumers can relate to. So before I go any further, I'll just kind of explain. A hashtag is a type of label or metadata tag used on social networks to make it easier for users to find messages with a specific theme or content. The pound or number sign is placed in front of a word or unspaced phrase in the main text or at the end of a message. And so searching for that hashtag will yield each message that has been tagged with it. A hashtag archive is consequently collected into a single stream under the same hashtag. So for example, if you searched hashtag ExploreNL on Instagram, you will be able to find all the posts that have been tagged using that hashtag. And with Instagram and social media in general, don't be afraid to be expressive and friendly. Instagram is very popular in teens and people in their 20s, and they expect this. They might not necessarily engage with a brand if it comes across as too serious or unapproachable all of the time. So Rod Hotels and Resorts on Instagram as Rod Vacations is a great example of an operator using Instagram because the photos are clear, they're bright, and they're exciting. They make you want to be there to experience those sunsets and dinners firsthand. The operator posts often and has earned a loyal following of over 1,000 followers. They use hashtags in a lot of their posts, such as hashtag ExploreNB, hashtag EatLocal, and hashtag RodVacation. And they do an overall great job of visually representing the properties and the features. So a few points about YouTube. There are 1 billion active users each month, and YouTube reaches more 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable network. The average time spent on YouTube per session is about 40 minutes, and there's about 300 hours per minute of new videos uploaded to YouTube every 60 seconds. And more than 50% of YouTube views come from mobile devices. So this is an example of Harvest Jazz and Blues Festival in New Brunswick. And although more could be done to brand their page, the Harvest Jazz and Blues does a great job promoting their events by posting many videos of their event and performers. The page has 300 subscribers, but their videos each have substantial views and comments. Pinterest. So Pinterest is a social media platform that is basically a catalog of ideas. It's a visual bookmarking tool that helps you discover and save creative ideas through creating boards and pinning things to your boards. So what do pinners look like? Mostly female users with about 80%, and typically women 26 years of age and older, with the majority using the app from their smartphone. Destination New Brunswick is using Pinterest to share the story of its province and what it has to offer travelers by creating boards and showcasing different events and destinations in both official languages. A few points about Twitter. There are 289 million active users. It's a micro-blogging social site that limits each post to 140 characters. The largest penetration in the U.S., but it's spreading slowly and steadily. 9,100 tweets happen every second, and it's largely used in city and suburban areas as a means of communication about local happenings, news, traffic, and deals. So the Great George Hotel is successfully using Twitter to showcase their personality and connect with their guests, partners, and media. They are active with their accounts and engaging with the Twitter community, which helps them expand their reach. So a few points on LinkedIn. There are 380 million users worldwide, and it's a business-oriented social networking site. For brands that are participating, our corporate brands giving potential and current associates a place to network and connect. And the majority of users, 79%, are 35 years or older. So DP Murphy Group is a good example of a corporate LinkedIn page. They have a quality cover image and profile photos, a good business description, and the ability to contact them. As a professional platform, LinkedIn makes sense for a brand like DP Murphy Group, who is interested in gaining market share in the business travel market. So Flickr is used to share your high-quality photos. A nice example of Flickr, Newfoundland and Labrador tourism account. This shot here is of Marble Mountain, and it's a great example because the visual is very captivating, and it makes you just stop for a moment to take it all in. Flickr also has specific tags that you can use to find by searching a variety of words. So for this example, they've tagged Newfoundland and Labrador, skiing and snowboarding, Western Newfoundland, all those kinds of things that you can use to search to find that photo or photo similar. So Snapchat is a downloadable app for smartphone users. It allows users to send a brief picture or video messages to one or multiple users. Users can also add a caption or doodle to any messages that they create. These Snapchat messages are short in length, ranging from 1 to 10 seconds, with the length chosen by the sender. And they are automatically deleted after the recipient watches them. A few tips and facts. 60 million total users worldwide use Snapchat. It's very geared towards a younger generation. 71% of users are under the age of 25. 77% of users are female, and only 14% of people aged 35 or older use Snapchat. So this is typically what the Snapchat interface looks like. And an example would be the Cavendish Beach Music Festival in PEI. They identified the need to connect to a younger audience for the festival, both leading up to and during the event. So Cavendish Beach Music Festival incorporated Snapchat into their social media strategy. They received over 4,000 unique snaps over the weekend at the festival, which was in response to their call to action to receive various snaps about the best food on site, programming such as competitions and sampling opportunities, funny backstage moments, and giveaway prizes. And just a couple of things to shake up your social media content. These are a few examples of posts that often perform well. Fun team or group photos, caption this photos, bloopers or mishaps, behind the scenes, and recommending someone else to follow as a cross-promotion. Social media is about being human and connecting emotionally with a brand. So all of these shake things up tips are a great way to kind of showcase your corporate culture, bridge any gaps with perception of your brand, as Jason mentioned earlier, and to just have fun with it, because you shouldn't be too serious all the time. That's it for me on the social media side of things. I just want to thank everybody for attending, and we're going to open up the floor, or the webinar, I guess, to anyone who has any questions. Hey, Kim, tagline vital alongside the logo. It all depends on your brand, not necessarily. Your logo is essential, but the tagline can be placed in other ways, like in your cover photo, for example, as opposed to your profile photo for your Facebook business page. That would be the logo, and then maybe the cover photo can complement it with the tagline. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
This is Jason from TIANB. Just regarding the logo, again, it should be somewhat simple so that people can recognize it, but again, you want to make sure that it gives the desired impression for your company. So if you can't do that with an image alone, definitely you may want to consider adding a tagline and then defining branding guidelines that in some instances maybe it's okay to have just the logo, and in other times maybe you want the tag with the logo. So this is something you definitely want to take some time and put some thought into and try to come to a conclusion there. It's definitely specific to your individual business.
If you're wondering what your next learning steps might be following this presentation, there are many technology learning options available to you simply by contacting your Provincial Tourism Industry Association. We would be happy to help you determine your next steps, whether they be one-on-one mentoring, further workshops or training opportunities, or advanced mentoring sessions. So coming up next this spring, tourismtechnology.com has more webinars planned, such as free web tools to help your business grow, which is next Wednesday, April 12th, and email marketing, how to boost your response rates on Wednesday, April 19th. Check out tourismtechnology.com for a complete list of resources and future training opportunities, or call your Provincial Tourism Industry Association. Again, thank you to our project partners, the provinces of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador, and the tourism industry associations of each province, including Tourism Industry Association of New Brunswick, Tourism Industry Association of Prince Edward Island, and Hospitality Newfoundland Labrador, and of course, Tourism Atlantic ACOA. Thanks everyone for joining today, and we look forward to working together in the future.